This episode has been brought to you by Manscaped. The new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Go to manscaped.com, use the code GOLTS20 for 20% off plus free shipping today. This week on the Heart of the Gulch YouTube show, we sit down with musician/songwriter Alex Lambert. In our Walk the Line episode, Alex gives a soulful performance of his song, You Make Sense to Me. Let's check out the episode.
Is there like a little montage thing? Oh, sorry.
Oh, you messed me up, dog.
Damn, my bad.
What's going on? Let's roll. What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Tony Mendoza. We're here in the Heart of the Gulch, and I got my friend in the building, Texas guy. Got some Texas soul. We got Alex Lambert in the building. One more time with the applause. I love that intro, by the way. What's up, man?
What's up, bro?
Hey, man. It's been fun to listen to your journey, man.
Thanks, man.
Talk to me,
Thanks
man.
for listening.
Yeah, 100%. You just came back from overseas, huh?
Yep, I did my first little European tour over there. I was just opening, though. I was supporting a band called Lawrence, and it's amazing. It was crazy. It was way different.
Have you ever been overseas prior to that?
I have been overseas to like just hang out in Italy and Spain and like Dublin one time, but like I was there for 2 weeks and it was intense.
Intense, and what do you mean by that?
It was fun. You know, the crowds were insane. Lawrence has such a great audience, and especially like the European audience it's way different than the United States. Like they are a lot more attentive. They're a lot more, it feels like a much more intimate vibe. And I was doing acoustic, so it was perfect. But the shows were great, smooth, beautiful, but the travel was a pain.
Oh, I can imagine.
Because we were taking trains from like to different countries every day, you know.
And the from what I hear, I haven't done it yet. When you go on the train, there's so many different types of languages, and you're unsure on which train to take. Is that about right? How it sounds, or not really? You had it a little more streamlined.
It's a little bit more streamlined than that, but at the same time, it's just like there's just so many trains and planes and Ubers, and it was wild, dude. Because usually you get on a bus or a van and you're all together,
state to state.
But it was so worth it. And it was so fun. That was the intense part about it, though, was traveling.
Well, bro, there was one thing that I've learned by interviewing musicians, man, is how amazing these European audiences are. And it just seems like if you're a true country music buff and fan, that is a spot in the world where they truly appreciate country music and just live acoustics, right?
Yeah, to be honest with you, the stuff that Lawrence does is more soulful and pop and funky. So that was their crowd, and I was playing to their crowd. My stuff is a little Texas soul, some country elements, so they definitely love the more stripped down thing. A lot of my favorite artists that blow up over in Europe are that kind of vibe. They're just more storytellers, and they really appreciate that kind of thing.
Bro, speaking of soul, man, I gotta know, when you were coming up these ranks, right, where did your love for that soulful storytelling? Because when I heard it, man, I got some Al Green in there. I got some John Mayer in there. I got a little bit of everything. So I'm curious to know your background, where you found your sound.
Well, it's been a long road, and when I started playing music, I was playing like a lot more singer-songwriter stuff, like Jason Mrazzi. That's when he was big, when I was in high school, and John Mayer had just put out Continuum, and so that was like kind of my vibe. And then I fell in love with John Legend, and John Legend became my favorite artist, and I learned all of his songs. And I think through listening to John and learning who his influences were, and then falling into the kind of the neo soul thing, I always had a love for country music. My grandfather was a country music artist and songwriter and producer, and but I've always gravitated more to like Stevie Ray Vaughan, B.B. King, and the blues. So it's just a mix of country and soul and blues and Americana, and I love all that stuff. I think I'd go literally insane if I had to do straight down the middle country or straight down the middle blues or straight
100%.
down the middle soul. Like, I like to do a lot of different stuff because,
you know, when I was listening to Lonely Avenue, there's so many different types of sounds on it. And that's the fun part about it, is that you're not afraid to make a song like Ride, where it's just fun and there's double meaning to it. And I love that. And then you got also She Ain't Texas. I mean, come on, being Texas guys. There's just all these different sounds that you got, and you're not afraid to tap into what makes you feel good, right? When you were going through, first of all, we didn't get to say shout out to you knocking it out the park with your album in October. What's been the rollout been like?
The rollout has been way better than I could have ever imagined. The songs have been streaming so well. There's like millions of streams already on it, and I'm proud of it, man. It's my first album, and I made it with some of my best friends in LA, and it was an amazing process recording and writing the album, but being able to go on tour and just seeing all those people sing my songs, man, it's truly an emotional and just like out of body experience that I've always dreamed of, but I never thought it would come. And I definitely didn't think it would come on the Lonely Avenue album. I thought it might take a few records, but dude, we're selling out rooms and kicking ass. And I'm so thankful. I'm so blessed. It's been awesome, man. I'm living my dream.
Dude, that's amazing, because it's not easy. It's not easy to live out your dream, because there's a lot of ups and downs. And, you know, going back into your story a little bit, man, when you're just playing out in breweries, out in Fort Worth area, coffee shops where, you know, people weren't necessarily listening. They were just having some background music, but then you would throw in your originals, and you just want it to be heard, and you want people to have that moment to relax and listen to your music, listen to your sound.
Yeah.
So what's it like now to have fans out there on stages and playing music that resonates with you and with them?
It's not even, I couldn't even describe what it feels like, man. It's what it's all about. It's what it's all about, being a musician and being an original artist, telling your story, and people coming up to me after the show saying, man, like, this song right here got me through this. And I know it's kind of cliche. It happens to a lot of people, but it's really, there's a reason it's cliches, because it's really special, man. It's special that's what I make music for. I'm not making it because, I want to be a cool musician. It's like, that's what God put me on earth to do. And I truly believe that my stories and the way that I sound resonates with people. And it's special, man. It's really something, it's really amazing. And it's going to get cheesy, but I'm so blessed and thankful. It's just a blessing.
100%. And, you know, speaking of a blessing and you being, you know, overseas doing music, I got to ask, what were some of your favorite spots? I mean, there must have been some amazing, I seen the pictures on your Instagram, man. It looks like it was a ball. Yeah.
Europe was insane. And we went to so many, I would say the shows didn't always align with my favorite places. Like Switzerland was absolutely gorgeous. We were in this town called Lausanne that's like right on Lake Geneva, across from the French Alps. I think that's the French Alps. There was just huge mountains over there. But it was probably like Switzerland. Milan, Italy was next level. Madrid, Spain was insane.
I saw that Spain picture. It looked awesome.
Yeah. Spain was really special. We stayed there after the tour just to hang out and vibe in Seville and this little town called Granada, but also Amsterdam. Crazy.
Yeah.
The crowd in Amsterdam was like, that's like the place I'm looking forward to going back to the most. Yeah.
I mean, Amsterdam, give me an idea of the vibe, because me being landlocked, I haven't made the trip overseas yet. So, and everyone talks about Amsterdam and honestly, the Swiss area too. Everyone says that every time someone goes overseas in those areas, the vibe, I hear that Amsterdam just has an energy to it.
You know, I'll try to describe it the best I can. I just got back, so I'm still kind of processing and downloading everything that happened over there. But some of the crowds were very chill, almost too chill. And some of the crowds, like the American crowd, typically, there's a beauty to it. It's different. It's not better, but they're rowdy. You play a show in Nashville, you play a show in Texas, it's going to be, people are going to be drinking beer, talking during your set, getting rowdy. In Europe, they're very respectful, but Amsterdam was like the perfect balance of like hype. And because when I started doing something that was chill, they were like all there, all ears.
All eyes on you.
Eyes on me. But when I started getting hype, they were getting hype. So they were kind of on the ride with me. When some of the places just, I'm not throwing shade at any of the places because they're all great, but it was like they just didn't.
They didn't catch the same feeling when you were doing it.
Yeah, they weren't riding the wave with me fully, you know. And Amsterdam did. Maybe it was that night. Maybe it's how I was feeling. You never know. So.
Well, speaking of, you brought up Texas. I'm not going to let you sit in this chair. We're not going to talk about Texas venues. I think that is one thing that I've realized doing the show here in Nashville and having my Texas roots, going back home to San Antonio a lot. Man, there's just something about the venues within Texas. And, you know, obviously Fort Worth, so you got a big one over there.
Billy Bob's.
Dude, come on.
Yeah, that would be a dream. I'm not really a country and Western type artist like that, but I think Billy Bob's, it's one of my bucket list venues for sure.
Is it because Fort Worth and how important it is to that area?
Yeah, I mean, Billy Bob's, my mom worked in the stockyards growing up. That's like my backyard, man. Like, that's my stomping grounds, dude. And Billy Bob's is somewhere I've been hundreds and hundreds of times and like seen so many people play, and I played billiards there and drank beer and hung out. It's just like, it's just home. And that's like the venue at home. And so I think it would be a dream to play there.
100%. Now, for the folks that are watching this that have never been to Fort Worth, how would you describe it?
Fort Worth is a bigger city, but it has a small city feel. It's chill. It's clean. The people are really nice and respectful. It's got a Western flair to it. They call it the beginning of the West, because once you get through Dallas and you head west of Fort Worth, it gets very, very like deserty, and so it's kind of Western. So there's a lot of cowboy culture. There's a lot of rodeoing going on through there, the stock show and rodeo, and it's just badass.
Yeah,
it's just like it's like the best place ever. Like there's so many different little pockets. There's like you can go find the good coffee shop areas where the hipsters hang out. And then you can find the more bougie spots, and then you can find the cowboy spots.
The
and
TCU versus the Texas Tech spots, basically.
Exactly,
is what you're saying,
exactly.
Right?
Yep. West 7th's where the more fratty people hang, but then you go to Magnolia, and it's more of a vibe.
You know, I was wondering this: are you you seem like an athlete, and I'm guessing football.
Yeah, I play football.
Do you have any favorite football teams where you're from in Fort Worth? Do you root for, I'm talking college.
Okay, college.
Yeah, it's college.
So I didn't go to college, so it's hard for me to have a team, but since I'm from Fort Worth, I just root for TCU.
Really?
Yeah, it's tough,
man.
It's tough, but you know, we had a good year a couple years ago, and it was a rough national championship game, but I'm not really, I'll be honest, I have a hard time keeping up with sports right now. Like, I'm just so busy with things that I find more important.
Oh, 100%.
Not throwing any shade on people who love sports, but it's just like I just don't have the time,
the capacity to do it, because you're mentally, man, the mind of being, you know, a musician is something that a lot of people, you know, have no idea how intricate it is, because you have to follow your feelings. You got to produce music that speaks to you, that speaks to other people. I mean, man, that's not easy, you know?
Yeah.
And then perform it and have that same level of emotion to how you perform it. And man, I've seen you perform a few times, dude. Man, talk about soulful, dude.
Thank you, man.
It's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, dude, it's a lot. There's a lot to it. It's hard ass work. I don't wish, if you have if you're faint of heart, I wouldn't say get into any sort of entertainment business, but it's hard work. It's tough. It's some days you don't know, you second guess yourself, and some days you feel like you're on top of the world. But dude, it's the most beautiful thing to follow what God's purpose is for you. And that's what I truly feel. There's nothing realer in life than doing that. And, it's the most beautiful thing to do what you love, that you're passionate about, and you wake up in the morning and you're excited to do it. Keeps you energized all throughout the day, and you feel so damn good when you go to sleep at night.
Man, that was well said. You know, Before we take our first break here, I want to touch on, what really got you back into music. Once you came back and it was COVID time. But I'm very curious to know about, what it was like in the real estate business.
Yeah.
How was that, man?
Do you want to talk about it?
A little bit. I mean,
yeah, I was flipping houses. It was fun. It was cool. It was like I was living in LA and I couldn't figure out how to be a good person and do music and do all the things, and I just was so broke, man. I've been broke my whole life, and I just was like, man, I thought money was gonna be what made me feel good, and I chased the dollar for a good while, flipped a bunch of houses, and had a great business. We kicked some ass, but it just wasn't my true passion. And after I got a lot of big checks, I just realized money's not what it's all about,
How hard was that though to flip? Because that's something that a lot of people, just like musicians and making music, it doesn't come naturally to everyone to be able to flip homes, Yeah,
you definitely had to have like a mouthpiece if you're trying to like do deals and find distressed properties, and that it's not easy, but it's a lot easier than doing like music.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, but also when you talk about COVID and how it made you refocus your energy back into, what speaks true to your heart and making music. Do you remember a song that you made back in COVID where it was like, wow, this resonates with me and I hope it resonates with others?
I think it was, and the song still makes me cry to this day. I remember sitting on my couch, COVID just happened, and I sat down and I wrote my song Rebel Ways. And that was me being like, what the hell have you been doing, man? Write songs, play your guitar, go out and sing for people. That's why God put you on this earth. And that was kind of a turning point.
Man, that's it's amazing that God speaks to everyone in different ways. And I believe this idea that God gives you an idea, and if you don't follow that idea, it's going to go to someone else.
That's cool.
So I think it's amazing that you're able to follow your heart and do what you're doing. And now we got to take a quick break real quick because I got to make sure we pay the lights in this place with my sponsorship. And then we'll be right back with Alex right after this. This episode has been brought to you by Manscaped. The new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Go to manscaped.com, use the code GOLTS20 for 20% off plus free shipping today. Before we took our break here, we were talking about how we like to streamline things. Are you the same way with making music?
So it's a little different with art because I tried that at the beginning of my career. I was like, how can we streamline this? And it's like, you have to take the time to make the best shit you can. So it's a little different when, like, if it's a real estate business or something else, you can try to cut the fat and be as efficient as possible and batch things, streamline things. But with music, especially making the music in the studio and writing the songs, you got to take your time.
How hands-on are you? So when you go in with the process, let's just use an example. She Ain't Texas. Are you creating that? First of all, what's the writing room like? Are you by yourself, or you have a few great writes with some folks, and then you go into the studio and start really finding the right tunes, the right sounds? I mean, it's very fascinating to me that you're able to create something like that and have it sound the way it does.
So I think I'm pretty hands-on as probably most artists are. I'm not producing the record. I'm kind of in there in the trenches with them. But like when it comes to the writing process, I'm usually writing the songs by myself, or there's one or two writers tops. Like I don't like big writers' rooms, and I really would, if I had all the time in the world, I would write all my own songs because I think that's when I make my best stuff. Is when I just sit there and I can like just download how I've been feeling and just express it through music.
What would be the song that you have right now that is really expressing that?
I think it just depends on the day. I think it just depends on the days. I mean, I've been playing so many shows the last 2 months that, sometimes I'll play She Ain't Texas and I'll just be in tears because it just means so much to me, and Texas means so much to me and my friends and family at home. And sometimes I'll play a song I have called Angel Wings. It's about my grandfather, and it'll just hit me, and it's so random. Like I will literally just be playing like even a hype song like Ride or something, and it just makes me just lose myself. So it just depends on the day.
when you lose yourself like that, whether it's hype or whether it's emotionally, how do you keep on performing? So I thought about that the other day. I was listening to a song actually right after the gym, weirdest time in the world for me. And I'm listening to this song and it just hits me because I think about my current situation and I start tearing up. And I tear up because not only am I angry in certain situations, but I hear this song and it takes me to a place like this guy won in life. And that's where I want to get to. So, but I'm just driving the car home.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to.
Sometimes that's where it hits you most.
Yeah.
Because you're not overthinking, because you're having a drive, you're like, okay, I got to turn here. And so it's like your mind, your subconscious mind kind of like takes over. Same with walking and hiking. You know those like walking and hiking talks you have with people?
100%.
You're like, why was that the deepest conversation? Because it like shuts a part of your brain off that doesn't allow you to overthink.
So what about when you're performing though? What's your brain like doing when you're going through these emotions? Are you kind of, are you aware that you're crying? Are you aware that you're hyped up? And how do you not let that affect the performance for the audience?
I mean, I think the best thing you can do is to let it affect the performance. Let that emotion take you and the band where it needs to go. And that's what's so beautiful about having a band and not playing to tracks or not playing to, we don't even play to a click yet. And there's something beautiful about that because sometimes I just feel like I want to slow it down and we can just let it take you. I think letting your emotions take you where it needs to go is like, that's what it's all about. But I do think a million thoughts on stage. It's so funny because it's coming so subconsciously. It's coming so like second nature, but I'll be like, oh crowd, I'm like about to cry right now. Like, oh my God, this is emotional. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm thinking so much while I'm playing and I don't realize it. It's such little tiny thoughts in the back of my mind that it's crazy. Performing is wild. It's like such an unnatural thing that we do. I don't think so many people were meant to be performing all the time and having audiences, because I'll just be looking at people. I'm like looking at this guy. I'm going, oh, like that guy looks like he's having a good time. He knows the words to this one. I hope she's not really vibing to this. You know what I mean? So I'm just like.
Do you put characters in your head when you're on stage and you're looking out in the crowd? What, like their story on what brought them here to the show?
Not really. I'm so focused on, because I see people who engage with the crowd more. And I think for this tour, my banter with the crowd or my rapport with the crowd has come through speaking. But I know artists that build a great rapport through their performances. And maybe I'll get there on the next record, but I'm not really there. Me and the band are like locked in. And so I'm kind of one of those guys that like, it's like I'm connecting with these guys on stage and I'm hoping that the crowd connects too. And then that energy just kind of just starts like recycling until it just gets just magic. That's where magic happens.
Well, it is your first headlining, right? So, and it's something that you probably are so proud of because, performing in front of acts, right? So like I saw a few from just the packet earlier, right? Like my favorite, Charlie Crockett, absolutely wild. I love that. And but to have your own time and have your fans come out to just see you, I mean, what's that like? That's a feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the best. Opening is cool, but you're playing for somebody else's crowd. So I typically just kind of do my own thing, but you can get caught up thinking about what should I do for Charlie's crowd, or what should I do for Lawrence's crowd, or Alan Stone, or all these people I've opened for. But
or
like
Ty now,
Ty Myers. Like I've thought about that already. Like what are his fans going to be into? But when it's my show, they're coming to see my thing, and they're coming to, so I can just do my thing and just have fun and be myself and kind of joke around. And it's just like my bass player said this one time, Kevin, he said, dude, you could have said like, I love tortilla chips, and they would have just freaked out. He's like, because they're just like,
they're so locked in.
They're so locked in. They know me already. You know what I mean? So it's like it's like familiar, and that familiarity brings a sense of comfort, and it's just dope.
What's one of the nicest things a fan ever given you?
I have a guitar that I got a long time ago when I lived in LA, and I still have it. It's a little baby Martin guitar. That's the nicest thing I'd say.
Did they just give it to you right after the show, or were they doing a meet and greet? Or?
No, it was like sent in as mail. It was fan mail.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a fan mail of a guitar. And that guitar, I don't even know who sent it because it was literally 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But that guitar, I have written so many songs on, like Cryin In The Rain, Rebel Ways. Like a lot of my favorite songs I wrote on that guitar.
What? I mean, that is... I get it, right? Because it's hard to go back and try to find the exact person that sent you the guitar. But for that person that may be watching this today to know that you are able to create such amazing songs with that guitar, that's probably their dream.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of brought it up right now too. So Cryin In The Rain. I saw, man, dude, you got some views on YouTube on that song, man. That acoustic performance that you just sitting down and just vibing out to the song, man, people resonated with that so much.
I know. It's cool. I mean, that's how the song was written. That's the original kind of rawest
form.
Like I sat in my barn and played that song and wrote it just like that. And I think there was magic when I wrote it, and I think we captured some of that in the studio. But I have to give a shout out to my buddy Nando, who shot it and found that spot, Taylor House, and had that yellow backdrop. It was such a vibe. And then I have to give a shout out to Charlie Sherwood, who did the audio as well, because without that, it would have been just all right.
Well, you know, that's an interesting point because I think a lot of people that watch the show and when they see the performance at the end of the show, they always wonder how the heck did you get it to sound so good? And going back to that song, my God, you're absolutely right. The audio engineering behind it and where the mic placement was and how you just looked like you were just in your zone. I mean, it was all like this perfect formula to bring such a impactful song. And so I guess one of the questions I have here is that why don't more musicians try to do that raw, authentic kind of look? Because it obviously resonates with a lot of people.
I mean, I don't want to be rude, but I think a lot of people just, that's not their thing. You know what I mean? Like they want to have the auto tune or whatever, or they want to have they feel like they sound better with, but for me, I've always been just kind of a sit down, play my guitar, sing with, you know.
What's been, you know, because doing research on you, and there was so many different kind of venues in the beginning that you were playing into. What was your least favorite to play into? And you could just, don't give me the name, but give me like the type of business. Was it a brewery? Was it a coffee shop? What was the place that you didn't really fully love playing in those venues?
The breweries were all right, and the wine bars and stuff like that. I think it was when it was like a corporate like event or something, or wedding, where you are literally like trying to sing over people talking. It's like, why am I even here? Like they could have just literally just like got on Spotify and been like wedding mix and just push play.
but you're there
but they're paying me good, so I got to do it, you know? Like it's sad, but I mean, those are the soul sucking gigs that I hate for anybody to have to do, but
you got to go through it, right?
Yeah,
because that helps with your performance.
Yeah, you got to pay the cost to be the boss.
Hey, I love that you said that. You know, going back to the tour that you got coming up, I saw that with Ty, you got it coming up in the top of May.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be going out west, right?
Yeah, we're heading to El Paso and Phoenix and like San Diego and a bunch of California cities, so...
All driving, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we're going to take the van.
Oh, you're not going to see nothing all that way out there. It's going to be just complete flat land.
I can't wait, bro.
Yeah?
I can't wait for all the dust and the cactuses and the freaking rocks. And
I'm impressed because a lot of people, that's probably their least favorite area. No offense to anyone that's watching this. I love El Paso and I love New Mexico. One of the best sunsets ever, New Mexico. But, man, that drive to get to state, there ain't nothing to look out. Is that where your mind wanders?
I mean, I love being in the van with the band because it's where we get to know each other a lot more. And you know what's so badass is like I've flown into dates and the band's driven and they've met me there. And when you ride out there with each other and you like connect the whole way and then you get up there and do the fun part, which is play the show, it's magic because you're just like hanging with them and just getting to know their deepest, darkest thoughts and like the real story of who they are. And then you get up there and you can really connect. It's special.
You know, I asked Colby a Cuff this question. What's your favorite type of gas station when you're on the road that some people love Love's, some people love Buc-ee's, some people love. What's your favorite? What's your favorite gas station to stop in, and what's your go-to snack?
Okay, I'm a Buc-ee's guy because it's a Texas thing, and I just love Buc-ee's. It's just something fun about going in there and just messing around for 50.
It's like Disney World, I swear.
It takes so long though.
So long.
Like, let's get some gas and let's get a snack. It's like, no.
40 minutes later.
Yeah, I go in there and I get ghost pepper beef jerky.
Yes.
The hottest shit they got.
Yes.
And then I'll get some I like those dark chocolate almond covered almonds that they got, the Buc-ee's brand one.
So obviously beef jerky is a big thing on road trips for me too, and especially the hot one. But I have to get a sweet one with it, so because I can't eat all the hot one when you're driving. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So, but on the way west, right? What are some locations that you're looking forward to on that run?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to passing through California because LA's like, I guess at this point, a third home to me. Nashville's first. At the moment, Texas is like my home, but LA's been like my third home. So being in LA and passing through, because we're going to stay in LA for the San Diego Anaheim shows. And we have 3 days off there.
Ooh.
So I'm hyped to be back in LA, jump in the ocean. And
there's so much, I had someone in yesterday who's a producer, and he an actor that was out in LA, and he talks about how that city is beautiful, but also not so beautiful at the same time. There's so many outlets there, and there's so many, I guess you can say, people that do not have your best interests in LA. And he said the comparison to Nashville, there's not as many people that are trying to take advantage of an artist's art.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way when you were living in LA, that some people would take advantage of, your artistry?
A little bit, but I luckily, when I was out there, I had a great team of people. I had like a production deal out there. And so my experience in LA, I love LA. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. And everyone's like, why? But I just have very fond memories of it. It's my first opportunity to make music being out there. It was my first place to ever move away from Texas. And so I love LA. There is that thing where there are some, vultures and some sketchy people, but like, I don't know. It just depends on what lens you look at it from, because it's a great place, dude. There's some beautiful hikes. There's amazing nature. There's the ocean. You can do music there. It's special.
So you're talking about California. My girlfriend's from Northern California. Okay. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with Northern California.
Not at all.
Okay. So outside of San Francisco. Now, I've done that drive. I cannot remember the name of the highway. What's the Highway 1, I think? Or something like that. It's the highway down all the way from the top to the bottom.
Oh, yeah, the PCH, the Highway 1, yeah.
So, man, there's something about the southern part of California. It's just you have that energy, you have that sun, you got that water, and it's something that Nashville just does not have. And it just makes me sad every time.
Yeah, it's the weather, dude. The weather and the mountains and the beach, it's just like, it's amazing. That's why it's so expensive to live there, and that's why people love it. And there's a great culture there. Southern California culture is cool, like the Malibu surf kind of vibe, and there's a lot of Hispanic culture there, and so you have like the kind of Chicano type thing, and there's like the lowrider culture, and there's just like LA has the best Mexican food in the world. And I'm from Texas, bro.
I don't know, bro.
I'm from Texas, dude, and I maybe I just don't know. I have foodie friends in LA. I don't have any foodie friends in Texas, and I think that's why I think that. Maybe I can hang out with some Texas folks and change my mind, but right now I hate to say that as a Texan, but
no, you know what? I appreciate that. That's real. Yeah. The fact that you're saying that, California, let's be honest here. California has just as much of Mexican, Hispanics as Texas. So 100% you're going to get, you know what the thing is though, is that in California, the food that they cherish the most is the one thing I do not like. No disrespect. The burrito.
The burrito, that's what I was about to say, dude.
That's your favorite, I'm guessing.
That's my favorite. There's a spot called Angels.
Okay.
Tijuana Tacos, and they make this amazing pastor burrito, and it's insane.
Man, well, we're also filming this before lunchtime, so if our stomachs are rumbling right now, that is literally the reason. But yeah, man. So I guess you're a burrito guy, not a taco guy.
Yeah. Well, I like tacos too. I like a street taco.
Well, in LA, and while you're going through LA, what's a venue? I'm guessing you must have played plenty of venues in LA.
I really haven't played many. I've only played like the Mint. I just recently played Hotel Cafe. Mm-hmm. That place is amazing. That
awesome.
place is magical. That place has a lot of mojo. It feels, a lot of legendary people have played there, but it's a small room. Mm-hmm. It sounds spectacular, and it's a very intimate vibe.
Can you feel that? Going into these venues and going to these places all over the world now, mm-hmm. Can you feel if a place has the mojo, has the vibe?
So you can think it does. You can go in there and be like, this place has a lot of character, a lot of mojo, but until you play the show, you won't really know what life the room actually has. Like,
ooh, let's dive deep into that real quick. What was a place that you played where you went in not expecting the type of energy it had? And we're not talking Amsterdam. Let's bring it to US.
Okay. And like a place that I didn't think was going to be dope, but it was.
It happened to be one of your favorite on the run.
Okay, so, I know. I mean, when I walked in there, I knew it was going to be dope, but when booking the show, Portland, Oregon.
Really?
So Portland, Oregon, I was like, I don't know if I'll sell any tickets. Like, I don't know if I have any fans up in Portland. And then sold it out. And the venue was like a saloon. Ooh. And so the stage was a circle. And like the whole audience was like kind of surrounding us. And it was just badass, dude. It was so badass. Like the audience was rowdy, but very listening to the stories. And
so kind of like the Bluebird in a way.
It was kind of like the Bluebird, but it was more Western, and like it felt like a saloon.
That's sick.
And it was big. It was a lot bigger than Bluebird.
And you played the Bluebird.
Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, you talk about people that are there intently to I would think the Bluebird is the closest that you can get to playing overseas in Europe. Is that true?
I would agree with that. I think the Bluebird was just, everyone's there to really listen to the stories and to the artistry, and it was such an honor. My friend Fraser Church here was like, yo, do you want to play? It was like a couple days before, and I was like, yeah, dude. And it was way cooler than I thought it was going to be.
So with rooms like that, where they're kind of on top of you, mm-hmm. and they're listening intently, mm-hmm. Does that get you a little bit more nerve? I know we all get nerves, but which one gives you a little bit more nerves? Is it going to be the louder crowds where you're looking out into the crowd, see a lot of faces, or is it the ones where you see maybe 100 people and they're just looking at you listening?
I think the smaller ones are a little bit more nervy, but I think it's funny because the nerves are different. Like if there's a shitload of people out there, I get really nervous before the show, but once I get out there and I can feel them, then my nerves go away. If it's a small room and I'm not very nervous before it, but while I'm playing, I stay a little more nervous, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see you guys there. Hey, if you're enjoying the content that we provide, please consider subscribing to our Heart of the Gulch YouTube show. Hit the subscribe button that's right in front of you, or hit the Heart of the Gulch logo over here in the corner. And of course, like magic, hit the recommended subscribe button that's over here in the banner. We would love to have you guys here at the Heart of the Gulch YouTube channel, and let's get you back onto that interview right now. I got a fun game for you to play. I've been doing it this season, and this season it's spin the wheel. There's a random question in the wheel, and then from there you just read out the question. You let me know what that answer is, all right? Okay, cool. All right, bring it up here. Let's see what you got. Give it a good spin. Oh. Ooh.
Favorite gig story and why? Favorite gig story. Golly, dude, there's so many. Oh my gosh, hold up. I got a story.
Let's do it.
So we're in DC on this last tour, and I'm kind of new-ish to electric guitar. I'm still finding my way. I'm getting decent, but like I'm still not like a freaking, face melter. Anyways, I'm playing the first song, and I got my Strat, and we're rocking, we're cooking. I'm like, holy cow, we're in this amazing venue called the Atlantis, and it's like a very, very great. We had an amazing crowd. First song, break my A string, which is a bigger string on the guitar.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm screwed. Like my whole vibe was like, this is incredible. Like maybe one of the best starts I've ever had to a show, and my whole energy just. And I had to play the whole rest of the set acoustic because I don't have a backup guitar. And there's one more cool story.
Go ahead.
We did my album release party at Cannery Hall here in Nashville. And the power went out.
Really?
The power went out, and me and my band I grabbed my acoustic guitar, and we were playing my song Lonely Avenue, and we just kept playing it acoustic and stepped to the front of the stage. The band just second nature just did it, and everyone was like so hyped. And then the power came back on, and we all got plugged back in, and it was like, it was insane. It was like meant to be.
Bro, that is, those moments where you just like, God did this for a reason. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome, because I think about all the album release parties we've been going to. Man, I would be so happy for a moment like that from a fan's point of view, where you have your idea of what you're going to do for your album release party. You got the tunes going, but when something drastic like that happens, you have to go back to your initial just gut reaction. Bro, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, it was fun. That was like, so many people after the show came up to me and was like, dude, that was my favorite part of the set.
100%.
I'm like, okay, oh yeah.
All right, let's do another one here. Bring it up. We'll do 2 more.
All right. I thought that was it. I was like, man, that was really rough. Dream collab, dead or alive. I would love to hang out with Sam Cooke.
Ooh.
Sam Cooke is like one of my heroes, and that's my dream collab. I have a million of folks that are alive, but that's my like top.
Well, I'm gonna ask your favorite or one of your favorite songs with Sam Cooke.
My favorite song.
Top 3. Give me top 3 like that.
My favorite song by Sam Cooke is probably I would say either "Bring It On Home to Me" or "You Send Me." I know they're kind of like cheesy because they're kind of hits. They're not deep cuts, but those songs are hits for a reason.
Who would you say today, right, is as close to? No one's going to be Sam Cooke, but I'm just saying, who today resonates with you the same way Sam Cooke resonates with you?
I'm just like such a blues head for so many reasons, but like I love what Gary Clark Jr. does. I know it's like way different because he's a lot more straight ahead blues, but Gary Clark Jr. is so awesome, and Marcus King is really cool.
Marcus King is...
They're not really like... Sam Cooke was smooth.
Yeah.
And there's a guy named Gregory Porter who's like the smoothest and most amazing crooner, because that's kind of what Sam was in a sense, was a crooner. And I'd actually say Greg Porter.
You brought up blues, and B.B. King is one of my favorite just listen in the background music ever.
Okay.
And there's something special about a person who's able to resonate with a guitar. I don't know how challenging that is, because I'm not musically inclined like that. But I think there's something about the magic behind someone that can almost like say words with guitars. Like Santana is another one just like that.
I like that we said that. Santana.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, man, I speak a little Spanish.
Santana.
I was worried about this earlier today before you came into the studio here, is because you have so many looks. It's crazy to me that within like 2 years' time, I've seen you with a mustache. I've seen you with straight brims. I've seen you and I wasn't expecting you to be almost clean shaven today. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I just shaved in Spain.
Yeah, man. It's just, so you're just so open to changing up, just feeling your vibe, you know?
Yeah.
I'm totally unlike that.
You're so consistent.
I'm the most consistent.
My mom was so cool, dude. Like growing up, me and my brothers, we were allowed to have any haircut. We were allowed to wear any clothes we wanted to. This probably wasn't the best, but we were allowed to listen to any music we wanted to. So we had a lot of freedom to express ourselves exactly. And so I'm always just changing, and I have so many different seasons where I'll be so passionate about a certain thing, and then I'll just move on to the next chapter. And the funny thing is, I think my chapters are just smaller than a lot of people's. But I'll be honest, I think I have a lot of Britney Spears moments where I just get like bored. I get bored. I'm like, this mustache is getting on my nerves. Like I bit my hair and I just shave it off. So it's...
What's been one of your favorite seasons? What's been one look that you had? Because you really do have a lot of different looks.
Got a lot of looks. We should do like a montage of...
You tell me. Give me a couple.
We should do like
Give me some montages. I'll put them right in front of you.
I had like a Euro mullet phase back in the day. And then, I've had like my kind of businessy comb over phase. I've had like the French crop phase with the kind of more I've gone like big goatee, no goatee. I've done the twisty little thing. I've done the slick back. I don't know, dude. I like switching it up, you know?
It must be challenging though, because when your fans see you, it's like you never know what you're gonna look like.
I know. I don't know if it's good because I think it's important to have like a consistent look, but I just like changing, and I think there's a common thread to it, you know? So I don't think it's like I'm dressing goth one day and the next day I'm like all cowboyed out, you know? So I think it's cohesive.
I like it, bro, because when I see, like I said, I love the unpredictableness to it because I had no idea how you're coming in. And I thought I was like, and then to see you look like straight up Texas, and that's my favorite kind of look, man, I was like, okay, I like this guy.
Cool, man.
So I definitely want to ask you these last two questions here on the show. And everyone knows I ask it. It won't be imposter syndrome this time.
Okay.
But it's more about, you know, for the person out there that is trying and just isn't catching a break, whether it's in music, whether it's in business, you know, what piece of advice can you give them that's helped you, you know, kind of stay on that path and, you know, finally break through on the other end?
2 words. Don't stop.
I love it.
That's it.
Don't stop.
That's it. Don't stop, man. Just
Have you
keep
ever
going.
thought about that? You ever thought about stopping though?
I did stop.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did stop. I took a long break, you know, and it's sometimes you gotta stop. So, you know, I think it's important to be okay with yourself, like mentally. I was emotionally unstable and mentally just like insane as a youngster and as a young man in my early 20s. So that's why I stopped. I didn't know that at the time, but I needed to get right with myself. And who is ever perfectly right with himself? That's not even a feasible thing. But I had to get right enough with myself to navigate the roller coaster that this entertainment business is. And I felt it, you know, I felt it in my heart. I think when I felt like I was ready to take that jump and take those L's.
Yeah.
There's a lot of L's.
So many.
There's so many. You got to take the L's and learn from them and just.
There's so many in music too. There's just so many doors that do not open. So many, and you just have to have that confidence that I can see that you kind of give off the vibe as a very confident person, and obviously you do because you view life very confidently. So the fact that you're able to not let these doors that are closing on you and have the doors that are opening up and inspiring others, it must be so cool to have fans that say that how much your music has helped them. That must be the coolest feeling ever.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. But I always have to remind myself that, like, we're just getting started. I've only really been back doing this for 3 years. And, you know, this is a 10-year town. And I'm still paying my dues right now. And I really, truly feel like I'm just getting started. But it is important to have a sense of self and a sense of confidence. Like, you know, it's not a linear thing.
Yeah.
You know, some days I wake up and I'm like, damn, am I doing the right thing? And other days I get up and I'm like, I'm a bad man. You know what I mean? So like, it's just, that's fun though. You got to embrace the journey and embrace the highs and the lows and just, you know, write about it.
Well, you know, I like that. And speaking of the journey, my last question before we go on to this Walk the Line is, man, it's 2025. We're filming this in March of 2025. This will be out probably by the time, right before you start taking your leave for the tour. So what are you looking forward to the rest of 2025 and the end of 2025?
Okay, I'm recording a lot of new music right now. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, is to build the new world of my career, the next chapter, the next vision. I'm ready to start executing those things and brainstorming those things. What was the other question?
No, it's just, what are you looking forward to this year?
That's what I'm most looking forward to. I've got a really cool team, and we've been building an even bigger team, and just connecting with all the amazing people that are surrounding me and just executing my vision and just being a crazy, insane artist. It's a dream come true. It's really damn fun, dude.
All right, well, we're going to have a little fun here. So the way that we're going to tee off the Walk the Line is you're going to look straight into that camera right there. You're going to say your name, and you say, this is how I walk the line, just like the Johnny Cash song.
Sweet.
And we'll transition it there. I'm excited to see what you play.
Sweet.
All right, and...
Yo, I'm Alex Lambert, and this is how I walk the line. I know it's so cliche for me to say, the more I live, the less I know. And truth be told, I thought I'd be where I am now so many years ago. Maybe I was flying blind, always waiting on a sign. Ain't no reason, ain't no rhyme. I fell into you right on time. I don't know why this world spins around, and I may never figure it out, but you make sense to me. You make sense to me. I know that loving you's the only thing that I can do to get it right. In this world of gray, it's safe to say that you're the only thing that's black and white. So much confusion, rejection, delusion gets most people losing their mind. Ain't no reason, ain't no rhyme, how someone gets so lucky as I don't know why this world spins around, and I may never figure it out, but you make sense to me. Yes, you do. You make sense to me. There's still so much I don't understand. Where I'm going, what I'm doing, who I am. But you make sense to me. You make sense to me. Oh. Ooh. Ain't no reason, ain't no rhyme. I fell into you right on time. Oh yeah. I don't know why this world spins around, and I may never figure it out, but you make sense to me. You make sense to me. Oh yeah. There's still so much I don't understand. Where I'm going, what I'm doing, who I am. But you make sense to me. You make sense to me. Yeah. Baby, it's meant to be. 'Cause darling, you make so much sense to me. Yeah.